In 1943, during the darkest hours of World War II, Viktor Frankl made a discovery that would shake the foundations of human psychology. He noticed that in the concentration camps, it wasn't the physically strongest who survived. It was those who embraced suffering as a pathway to meaning. 2,000 years earlier, the Stoics had already codified this insight into a psychological weapon so powerful that emperors and slaves alike used it to reshape reality. They discovered that comfort wasn't just the absence of growth, it was active psychological warfare against human potential. What you're about to learn isn't just philosophy, it's the decoded manual of human excellence that's been deliberately buried by a society engineered for mediocrity. Part 1. The Matrix of Comfort. Picture this: Rome, 175 AD. Marcus Aurelius, the most powerful man in the world, sleeps on a hard floor and rises before dawn. Meanwhile, in 2024, we've created push-button dopamine dispensers we call smartphones, comfort optimization algorithms we call food delivery, and digital escape pods we call streaming services. This isn't progress, it's surrender. Every great civilization followed the same pattern. Hard times create strong people create good times create weak people create hard times. Where are we in this cycle? Look around. We're living in the greatest comfort bubble in human history, and it's about to pop. Part 2. The Biological Trap. Your brain has a secret agenda, and it's not your success, it's your survival. Evolution programmed us with a biological algorithm: conserve energy, avoid pain, seek pleasure. This made perfect sense when we were running from saber-toothed tigers. But in today's world, this same algorithm is silently assassinating your potential. Every time Netflix asks, "Are you still watching?" it's not just a question, it's your ancestors' survival programming winning against your future self. Part 3. The 10 Stoic Principles of Mass Disruption. Comfort avoids the reality of suffering. Pain isn't optional in life, it's inevitable. When we chase comfort, we're not preventing suffering. We're postponing it and weakening our ability to face it. Every time you choose comfort over growth, you're creating a debt that will come due with interest. The modern world sells us the illusion that we can avoid suffering through convenience, technology, and comfort. But suffering finds everyone eventually. The difference is that those who voluntarily embrace discomfort build the strength to handle life's inevitable hardships. The ancient Stoics understood that suffering itself isn't the enemy. Our resistance to it is. They practiced voluntary discomfort not because they were masochists, but because they understood that suffering is life's greatest teacher. When you run from suffering, you run from growth. When you embrace it, you embrace transformation. Your comfort doesn't protect you, it weakens you. Comfort breeds complacency. The most dangerous aspect of comfort isn't the physical softness it creates, but the mental stagnation it induces. When you're comfortable, you stop questioning, stop growing, stop pushing boundaries. You accept your current state as good enough. This complacency is a slow death of potential. Look at any great achievement in human history. It came from someone who refused to be complacent. The Wright brothers didn't achieve flight by being comfortable with ground transportation. Einstein didn't revolutionize physics by being content with Newton's laws. Complacency is the enemy of greatness. Every day you choose comfort over challenge, you're choosing to remain the same person you were yesterday. The Stoics understood that human excellence requires constant striving, constant growth. Comfort whispers, "You've done enough." Greatness demands, "You can do more." Comfort weakens resilience. Life will test you, not if, but when. The only question is, will you be strong enough when the test comes? Comfort systematically destroys your ability to handle adversity. Every time you choose the easy path, you're training yourself to avoid challenge. Every time you opt for convenience over effort, you're teaching your mind and body that difficulty is to be feared rather than faced. True resilience isn't built in comfort, it's forged in adversity. The Stoics practiced voluntary hardship because they understood that resilience is like a muscle. It grows stronger when stressed and weaker when coddled. Your capacity to handle life's challenges isn't fixed, it's trained. And comfort is training you for weakness. Each time you choose the harder path, you're making a deposit in your resilience bank. Comfort encourages dependence. The more comfortable you become, the more dependent you become on the sources of that comfort. Your fancy bed, your morning coffee, your climate control, your convenience foods. These aren't just comforts, they're chains. The Stoics understood that true freedom isn't having everything you want, it's being fine without the things you think you need. Every comfort you rely on is a potential point of failure in your life. Every luxury you can't do without is a master you serve. This dependence extends beyond physical comforts to emotional and social comforts too. When you need others' approval to feel okay, when you can't handle being alone, when you must have constant entertainment, you're not free, you're enslaved to your comforts. True strength comes from independence, from knowing you can handle life without your usual comforts. Comfort numbs ambition. Look at any child, they naturally push boundaries, take risks, seek challenge. Then comfort enters their life, and slowly but surely that fire dims. Comfort doesn't just make you physically soft, it makes your dreams soft. It whispers, why reach for more when this is good enough? Every great ambition in history came from someone who was willing to be uncomfortable. The entrepreneurs who worked while others slept. The artists who created while others consumed. The leaders who stood up while others sat comfortably silent. The Stoics knew that ambition isn't just about wanting more. It's about being willing to suffer for more. When you embrace comfort, you tell your deepest ambitions to go back to sleep. Your comfort zone becomes your prison, and your dreams become distant memories of what could have been. Comfort avoids hard truths. Comfort is a cushion that shields us from reality. It's easier to scroll through social media than confront our failures. Easier to binge Netflix than face our fears. Easier to order takeout than build discipline. The Stoics practiced brutal self-honesty because they understood that growth begins with truth. Every time you choose comfort over confrontation with reality, you're choosing delusion over growth. Your weaknesses don't disappear when you ignore them. They grow stronger in the shadows of comfort. Your fears don't dissolve in comfort. They multiply in darkness. The hard truths about yourself, your life, your potential, these don't become easier to face with time. They become harder, buried under layers of comfortable lies. Comfort erodes discipline. Discipline isn't built in comfort. Every time you hit snooze, skip a workout, or take the easy path, you're not just making a single choice, you're reinforcing a pattern of weakness. The Stoics understood that discipline is freedom. It's the power to choose what's right over what's easy. Comfort promises freedom, but delivers chains. It tells you just this once until just this once becomes every time. True discipline isn't about perfection. It's about consistently choosing challenge over comfort. Every morning you rise early, every workout you complete, every difficult task you tackle head-on. These aren't just actions, they're votes for who you want to become. Comfort votes for weakness. Discipline votes for strength. Comfort masks weakness as contentment. There's a vast difference between true contentment and comfortable complacency. The Stoics taught that real contentment comes from knowing you're living up to your potential, not from avoiding challenge. Comfort tricks us into mistaking peace for stagnation, satisfaction for surrender. It tells us we're content when we're actually afraid, happy when we're actually hiding, fulfilled when we're actually empty. This false contentment is more dangerous than obvious dissatisfaction because it doesn't trigger the pain that motivates change. It's the warm water that slowly boils the frog. True contentment isn't found in comfort. It's found in the knowledge that you're becoming the person you're capable of being. Comfort dulls the mind and spirit. A comfortable mind is a lazy mind. When was the last time you had a breakthrough insight while lounging on your couch? Great ideas, deep understanding, and personal evolution come from pushing beyond mental comfort zones. The Stoics sought wisdom through challenge, understanding through adversity. They knew that comfort creates mental rust, while difficulty creates mental sharpness. Your mind is either growing or decaying. There is no maintenance mode. Comfort puts your mind in hibernation, slowly dulling your intellect, creativity, and wisdom. Each time you choose mental comfort, easy entertainment over difficult learning, shallow thinking over deep contemplation, you're choosing mental decay over growth. Comfort distracts from mortality and purpose. The greatest deception of comfort is that it makes you forget you're dying. Every moment spent in comfortable distraction is a moment lost forever. The Stoics embraced their mortality not to be morbid, but to be alive. They understood that death gives life its meaning and urgency. Comfort masks this truth, letting us waste our limited time in meaningless ease. Your life isn't measured in years, but in moments of real living, moments of challenge, growth, and purpose. Each time you choose comfort over meaningful challenge, you're not just choosing the easier path. You're choosing a smaller life. Your time is running out. Comfort wants you to forget this. Purpose demands you remember it. Part 4. The Psychological Revolution. Navy SEALs use a 40% rule. When your mind says you're done, you're only 40% done. The Stoics knew this 2 millennia ago. They called it the reserve of power, the hidden strength that only reveals itself when comfort is stripped away. Consider David Goggins, who transformed from a 300-pound exterminator to an ultramarathon runner, or Wim Hof, who turned grief into a revolutionary method of human optimization. These aren't anomalies. They're examples of what happens when you escape the comfort trap. In 1939, as Europe stood on the brink of war, C.S. Lewis gave a speech titled "Learning in Wartime." He said something profound. The only people who achieve much are those who want knowledge so badly that they seek it while the conditions are still unfavorable. The comfortable cage isn't just a metaphor, it's the invisible prison of the modern mind. But here's the truth they don't want you to know. The door was never locked, the chains are self-imposed, and your liberation. It begins the moment you choose discomfort as your teacher. This isn't just about becoming stronger, it's about becoming who you were meant to be before the world convinced you to settle for less. The next time you feel that pull toward comfort, remember, that feeling isn't protection, it's prison. Your comfort zone is shrinking your life. Starting today, choose one principle, apply it religiously, document your journey, share it in the comments below, and please give this video a like.